more can I say?
Top Billin. All right, y'all. One of the aspects I want to concentrate on amongst a few is Florida's inability to protect Kyle Trask last year and how that particular unit, the offensive line, has improved. One thing about that, though, is I believe Georgia's front has also improved. Check this out right here. You're going to have your boy Azeez Ojulari going against Stone Forsythe here. If Stone Forsythe looks like he's looked in the first few games, it could definitely open up this game in Florida's favor. Same thing with everyone across the board here. Obviously, the line looks a little bit different. You got some guys over here. Hagee's still around here in a different position. You know, Richard Garage there. Hagee at the center, and it'll be a newcomer and Stuart Reese over here at right guard, and Gene DeLand still over here. These guys have been doing a great job, but they haven't played anything remotely like Georgia. I think Texas A&M has a pretty good front, and Florida did very good against Texas A&M's front, but I still think Georgia's just a different animal here, especially when you factor in a guy like Azeez Ojulari, and if they were to bring in Adam Anderson instead of trotting out Jermaine Jackson Johnson or whatever his name is, and Nolan Smith, two guys who aren't as good to me as Anderson and Ojulari, but see him get beat with this inside move fairly easy. Check. Oh, look at that. Nasty. Fertilizes the Trask at hand there. If you're Stone Forsythe, you don't want to take these hard step approaches. Look at this. He's so scared of getting beat outside, he takes an extreme hard step approach over there, just gives up the inside. You want to be able to trust in your athleticism to not take this robust of an approach. You want to treat it like basketball. Yourself between the man and the basket by taking smaller approaches, but being able to combat that with just a little bit more quickness. Now, I used to call him Stone's Feet Forsythe, and it was for a reason there. If you were to get around this guy, he has no FEMA ability. He cannot be in recovery mode that well. Just not that athletic, but his technique seems to have gotten better. But is the technique better, or is the competition inferior? Although he was getting beat by even lesser players than an Azeez Ojulari last year too, so you got to give him credit for that. But all right, however, if you gave Trask time, you certainly could not deal with the Trask at hand, because this kid is phenomenal and he's only gotten better. And his connection with Kyle Pitts, I think, could be Georgia's undoing if they're unable to corral that. We see here, give him enough time, bang, able to beat Richard LeCounte. So that was a matchup that I was looking forward to this year, and unfortunately we will not be able to see Kyle Pitts work against Richard LeCounte. Go back here, we can see that right there. So in my opinion, and if I'm Georgia, I would somehow try to match up Tyrique Stevenson, the bully, and have him go against Kyle Pitts. Tyrique Stevenson has been money against tight ends. I don't like Tyrique Stevenson against really good slot receivers as much, but I think he's physical enough to go against tight ends. However, not every tight end is Kyle Pitts. As a matter of fact, nobody's Kyle Pitts. He's just a different animal, and I don't believe anybody can stop him in college football. But if there is a team that could devise a plan to do it, you would have to think Georgia would be one of those teams, right? You can see it here. In breaking route, leaves Richard LeCounte in the dust. Is it a better if it's Tyrique Stevenson? I think so. He's just a better coverage guy than Richard LeCounte there. But if you can see, they can get explosive plays out in the pass game. Bang. And they're doing it even better this year, moving Kyle Pitts all around. Enough time. Trask always going to deliver a fairly accurate ball. Kyle Pitts explosive after the catch. But here's something you definitely have to be aware of with Florida. We can see soloed off over here into the boundary, Kyle Pitts, working out of 12 personnel, front facing play action fake. So how do you counter that if you're Georgia? I think South Carolina did a good job here, even though it didn't work, by leaving their best cornerback on him and treating him like a wide receiver. What Florida wants you to do is counter with someone like a Lewis Seen or one of these safeties, Chris Smith or somebody like that, and then he just torches you. But he can torch anybody, even if it's Eric Stokes out there. But Eric Stokes would definitely have a much easier time, to me, than a safety. But you see the front-facing play-action fake here? Nothing but a fade, really. Got it there. Bodied him off. Right on for J.C. Horn there. So, play action. I'm not sure what happened with the protection here, though. So that was almost a blunder there, but he was able to get the ball away. Kyle Pitts is just a monster. Checkmate. All right, as far as targets go, make sure you look out for one Kadarius Toney. That dude is the absolute truth. Really taking over that Jalen Waddle role, a kid from Alabama where he's a jack of all trades, do-it-all explosive type. He'll give anybody trouble with the way they use him. Also, Trayvon Grimes out wide and Jacob Copeland. Also, Trayvon Grimes out wide along with Jacob Copeland. These guys are absolutely loaded. They even have younger guys like Xavier Hennis and Whittemore and these guys that can absolutely go as well. The running game, though, good luck. Georgia, when Georgia focuses on the run, man, not too many teams that can run on them. But if you have a good passing attack like Florida, maybe you'll be able to open something up here. But you can see the physicality there with Dameon Pierce. You got formation into the boundary here. Pretty much running zone. Looks like it's a zone read. You can see the guys get after it on the line of scrimmage there. Hagee and the boys right here, and Stuart Reese, and angling off, comboing up to the second level from Richard Garage. Great blocking, my big 2 6'5", 2 6'6" guys right there blocking. So, or a finesse team that has a little bit of physicality to it, and they like to show that as far as the run game goes. Look at this. Oh, now check this out right here. The moment of truth. Y'all remember that toy back in the day called Jack in the Box? Your head pop out the fire. Jack in the Box his ass. Dameon Pierce taking your man Roger going for a ride there. Just showing the physicality there. Running a finesse zone scheme, but you got bigger personnel there. Dameon Pierce is extremely physical. And definitely want to see how that goes in the run game. Look at that. Handing out them 65% concussions. Boom. Lucky his head wasn't in that helmet. They can get physical when they want to, but, man, you're going against Georgia. Even with the loss of Jordan Davis, Julian Rochester, they have a whole bunch of physical linemen. All right, on the other side of the ball, I think we're forgetting just how good Stetson Bennett was between the hashes earlier in the season. Now, the last couple of games been a little weird there, but this is what Florida struggled at before. I'm not sure if Florida's all the way back on defense. You got to check part one when I talked about Florida defending the run against Georgia, which I think they could have trouble doing. I still believe they could have trouble defending in between the hashes. I have to see what the game plan is like, but Georgia could torch these boys between the hashes. Other teams were doing it. The thing about what Georgia probably doesn't have is a vertical approach to kind of keep them on their toes. But, man, Texas A&M was killing those boys between the hashes. So a guy like Kyrus Jackson here or anybody else you'll see, whether it be the tight ends or the running backs coming out of the backfield, if it's right there between the hashes, he has a great chance of completing the pass. He's very good between the hashes, and it doesn't take much to work between the hashes. Quick, accurate throws like that, and you're off to the races, especially when you complement that with a vicious rushing attack, which Georgia still does have. All right, same kind of deal right here. Almost isolating the running back here on an angle route to get between the hashes. This always is going to be where he wants to go first. Even the fact that I believe you have George Pickens here getting vertical. Jermaine Burton here kind of running a skinny post. Have an out route here by Demetrius Robertson. And then I believe a flat route by Fitzpatrick, the tight end there. So you can see the levels concept there, but he still wants to hit where? You guessed it. Wants to hit that middle of the field, man. And he got some explosive running backs. This particular cat, I believe, won't be playing here. But these other guys, especially James Cook, can definitely replicate something like this. Coming right here with the halfback angle. And I don't think Florida has linebackers that can cover like that. Maybe an Amari Burney, but I don't find him to be just a good coverage linebacker as well. So they have to devise some type of box-and-one plan to where they're forcing everything to the middle of the field. Can't work just pure zone. Can't work pure man either. Stetson Bennett has some really good legs and can detach from the pocket there. So you may actually want to work with a spy with him there, but I think he'll eat that shit alive if you just run zone. Maybe press man coverage there with inside leverage. Force him to go to the outside and always have somebody dropping off into some type of shallow zone or something like that. You just want to flood the middle of the field and force him to go outside Florida. But if you're Georgia, you want to spread them out just so you can run bodies to the middle of the field and help your quarterback out who wants to target in between the hashes. Now, Alabama and Florida, to me, have similar strengths and weaknesses. One of the weaknesses being the pass rush. I think Florida, although it does have good pass rushers as far as name value goes, they have not been able to just get an organic pass rush going. Looked a lot better against Missouri, though, so maybe it's that time now. And Alabama has a similar weakness in that aspect. But if you're going against Georgia, what you want to do is make sure your rushers always take an outside approach to keep Stetson Bennett in the pocket. So if you got somebody rushing here, or if you have some flat duty, you always got to bow out. Always got to bow out. And you'll see right here, Alabama actually takes his edge player, has him semi-rob the middle of the field. So you get a taller player in the zone coverage there, and then you're playing kind of coverage across the board here out there. But you know he wants to shoot it to the middle, and they didn't give him that many options on this one here. I think besides the running back coming here on the spot route. So if you're able to do that, if you're Florida, then you could have a little bit better chance. But if you start rushing with inside lanes or start taking an inside approach to your rush, and you're leaving this guy the ability to take it out the back door, pause, then you may have trouble because he's, like I said before, he's good with his legs and he can create that way. So that's what you want. If you're Georgia, you want them to do that so he can still create with his legs. But if you see here, he damn near sacked himself because he had nowhere to go in the middle of the field, and they took that outside approach. You see him right here, nowhere to go there. They're flooding the middle of the field. You got Chris Allen there. They're ready for something to happen in the middle of the field. So he always wants to bolt out the back door rather than kind of climb in the pocket there. So he's like, oh, let me go ahead and vacate the premises, runs right into Dylan Moses there and just sacks himself. So I don't know, man. This is a tough one to call. I know a lot of people right now, or at least from what I understand, a lot of people probably lean in Florida, but that's just people who are prisoners of the moment. Yeah, a few weeks ago, people would unequivocally say that Georgia was going to win this game. People ride the wave of a season. Sometimes you got to take a 50-foot approach. Just take a step back, see what both these teams are good at, see what both of their weaknesses are, and then kind of go from there. So to me, they're evenly matched teams. You got one team still hard as hell, probably wants to be like the other team, meaning Georgia wants to be more finesse like Florida. And I'm pretty sure Florida would love to be a little bit more physical like Georgia. So sometimes you got to run what you brung. I think Florida can put up points on Georgia's defense just like Alabama did. I think Georgia could put up points on Florida's defense just like everyone else did as well. So then it becomes who can make the most stops, who can get the most turnovers there, who can play within themselves and not give up any turnovers. So you guys let me know in the comment section what do you think is going there. I already know what's going to happen. We'll get a bunch of Georgia, Florida fans. But if you're neutral, let me know what do you think is going to happen there. I think I might refrain from making a pick, right? I've been living good this year. People always be like, every time I make a pick, people get mad on the other side, say I'm biased and shit like that. Guess what? I ain't had to make no picks this year. I ain't had to be worried about that, right? So, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a pick before. I don't know. We'll see, though. But just let me know what you guys think about that as far as the strategy goes and how you would run it. All right? It's your boy Murph, the Underground King. Holla at your boy.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.